Good morning. So it's Saturday. Now, in recent history, Saturdays mean I'm looking forward to checking in at one of a couple of different caravan parks to, check in and then spend the afternoon sort of winding down, getting set up, getting, safe, secure, quiet. And then I would spend the entirety of Sunday as a dedicated rest and recharge day. Recharge all my electronics, my big battery bank and whatnot, and recharge myself, knowing that that is a designated day off. I am in my own little space, such as it is, even if it is just a powered site at a caravan park. That's my space for the moment. Free and easy access to shower. It has become a respite, a little part of the routine that helps keep me, well, ideally helps keep me stable throughout the coming week. The week that is just ending kind of shook apart on me, and over the last few days, not been doing well, and I'm suffering a kind of neurological hangover today. I don't feel completely terrible yet, but Jesus, I'm tired. Just everything is heavy and slow, but not in the bipolar depression way. It's just a general exhaustion. But that's not happening today. The caravan park is not happening today. The scheduling didn't line up. The local place didn't have a vacancy that would accommodate my 2-night stay. And I couldn't get to the other caravan park because I had to stay local today because I have a inspection. I think it's the first Saturday inspection that I've had, but it was the first available inspection for this place, so it had to take priority. The place does seem nice too. It seems like it's on a very, very quiet street. It is, like the place I looked at yesterday, a self-contained unit. It's sitting on a block of land with several other units, but they're not conjoined. And it is a 2-bedroom place, and it is notably cheaper than the place I looked at yesterday. It looks a bit smaller, but again, all things being relative, the main living area and the kitchen of this place I'm looking at today, the area that they take up, the square meterage they take up, or square footage, if you like, for you people who never escaped the steam age measurements, is about the same size as the entirety of the place I was at in Sydney. So you add to that 2 pretty decently sized bedrooms, at least according to the floor plan. Not every listing has a floor plan, frustratingly. This one does, so I know exactly what the measurements are. And yeah, it looks pretty ideal. Fingers crossed that it lives up to expectations, and fingers crossed that my application will be successful if I do apply, which I can't imagine why I wouldn't. As of yesterday's application as well, I've started to change up a few details in my application in the hopes that it will be helpful in being accepted. For example, most places I've applied for, they have a little drop-down list of, how long would you like the lease to be? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Sometimes it doesn't have 18 months, but whatever. And I've been picking 24 months because I want stability. I want, a long-term view that I want to be able to move into this place and know for 2 years, at the very least, I don't have to worry about this again. However, it occurred to me that landlords probably would prefer a shorter lease, because I was thinking they'd want someone who could commit, so they would know for the next 2 years they've got rent coming in with no interruption. But it occurred to me that when they're renting a place to a new person, maybe they want a shorter lease, a 12-month lease, so they're not locked in legally to leasing to that person just in case they're a really bad tenant. So they have an option to get rid of that tenant at the end of that 12-month lease, for example. So as of yesterday, I've started to apply for 12-month leasing instead. If I get accepted at the agent, I can say, hey, how about a 24-month lease? Is that on the table? And do that after they've accepted me. And if they say no, I went, well, fine, 12 months. And then, at the end of that, the legal protections for renters in Victoria were lagging behind what they were in New South Wales. But as of this month, I think. They're catching up. So instead of a 60-day termination notice, if they want to kick someone out, they have to give 60 days notice. It is a 90-day, which is what New South Wales had, although that didn't help me last time because of all the reasons I spoke about in the videos that preceded this particular vlog series. Point is, there are better renter protections in Victoria now, which make me feel a little more secure in that 12-month agreement. I've also adjusted a couple of other things in the application, just wording of some stuff. I do also have a side activity we might try today as well. 2 days ago, someone donated about $20 and said, "Hey, just use this to cheer yourself up." So yeah, I have an idea about how I want to spend that today. So stay tuned. It should be hilariously crappy. But yeah, I'll check in again once I'm about to inspect, or possibly after the inspection, because I've already talked a little about the place, which is what I would usually do in that pre-inspection bit to camera. In any case, see you in the next edit. Well, there's a thing I can do today, actually. See to that squeaky door. It's been getting worse recently. Not too surprising, considering the life this vehicle has had for as long as it's been with me, bumpy dirt roads and traveling from one state to the other. And I haven't done the math on how many kilometers it's done. I'm saving that for when I get a place, because then we can do a wrap-up video and said, "Oh, I traveled X number of kilometers between becoming homeless in Sydney and finding a place and hopefully Ballarat." But yeah, the squeaky door is starting to get to the stage where it's just starting to bug me. Not much of a car maintenance guy. The big clunky stuff, not really my bag. Small, fiddly stuff, electronics, and building computers and crap like that, and soldering and all that sort of stuff. That's my bag. I understand that, and I have done since I was a kid. But car maintenance, Let's see if I can guess what kind of lubricant a car door hinge would need. White lithium grease? I'm betting white lithium grease. I'm going to Google it. I'm going to be real smug if I'm right. White lithium grease. That's my bet. Either that or some silicone oil of some kind. We'll see.
A few moments later.
Bear witness to my smug face. White lithium grease. First, second, third, and fourth results on Google. Although light silicone oil was also suggested, so even my second guess was correct. Smug-Face. I saw someone suggest sewing machine oil, which I'm not entirely convinced that was the correct choice. But in any case, there is a super cheap auto just around the corner from where I'm sitting right now in the car park of the shopping centre. So yeah, let's go get that sorted out. Find out how much a can or a tin or tube or whatever it comes in of white lithium grease costs. There we go. About 45 seconds and 5 lanes of traffic later. Super cheap auto. Easy peasy. $13.99. So, I've just driven away from the inspection. I mean, I went to the inspection and I drove away from it. I'm not saying I drove away from the inspection in frustration, although I might as well have. I think I mentioned earlier, this is the first weekend inspection that I've done on this journey so far. Usually it's the weekday ones. And it was only today that I saw something I knew to be true that, there'd be more people on the weekend inspections because, a lot of time people's work will keep them away from the weekday inspections and the timings of that. But yeah, so I always knew there'd be more people on a weekend inspection. Today I saw the extent of that. And while it was a soul-crushing realization about just how much competition there is for these places, simultaneously, I suppose, it could make me feel slightly better about being rejected so many times, knowing there are so many other people trying to find places like this. I tell you, without word of exaggeration, there were at least 30 people. And when I say people, I mean I'm counting obvious couples as one. All right? 30 different teams of people inspecting, potentially 30 plus applications, because there will surely be another inspection during the weekday as well. So given that the average number of people that I see at the weekday inspections over the last fistful of weeks has been anywhere from, 4 to 6, I suppose. Yeah, there's potentially every place that I apply for has, 40 other applications in. So those those odds help explain why this is so difficult, I suppose. Do I feel better about that, or do I feel completely crushed and hopeless about that? 6 one, half dozen the other, I think. Also met the woman I've mentioned before of coming across at several inspections. She greeted me with a friendly hello and still no luck. No, still no luck. You too? Yeah. And yeah, we had a little conversation about that place that I was shortlisted for. She was shortlisted for it as well, apparently. And same story. We're both confused and frustrated knowing that we're both shortlisted, both rejected, and somehow it got relisted. Something really dodgy is going on with this real estate crap, man. And it makes me feel so hopeless. Like, what do you do against that? When these landlords are rejecting people that the estate, the real estate agents, the people they're employing to find people to rent out their place, say, hey, these people are good choices. Look at these. And then the landlords go, nah, I can afford to wait. Fuck those people. Sociopathic behavior. It shouldn't be legal for a landlord to have multiple applicants and reject all of them and then just you'd roll the dice again. There's only so many people looking to rent. I mean, we need homes, and you're out there with enough. You obviously don't need the rent to survive. I don't understand this system, man. There needs to be a fucking real estate revolution to make this whole system fairer and kinder. Jesus. Anyway, the place was quite nice. As I talked about before, fairly generous space, nice and quiet. It's at the back of the block of units and whatnot, and it seemed quite nice. The carpet was a little bit grotty, but aside from that, the place was clean and tidy. Although the previous tenant was still in the process of moving out. Like, there was no furniture, but the cupboards were still full of their stuff. Keep it out of the way while people inspect, I suppose. And the kitchen was cluttered with stuff too. So I suppose the carpets being grotty is just because they've been cleaned after the person moves out. Don't really care about slightly grotty carpets. The last place I inspected had torn carpet, for Christ's sake. I didn't care about that. I just want a place to live. But yeah, it seemed quite nice. I quite liked it. So I will put in an application, even though I'm sure it'll have as much effect as farting into the wind. Anyway, I'm going to cheer myself up with a chicken burger or something, I think. And then I'm going to find somewhere to park in the shade because it's getting toasty today. I need to take this off too. Second day in a row, I've had an unexpected social interaction pop up. As soon as I went to get out of the van after recording that last piece, there was a guy who was staring me down from his car parked a few spaces away. I'm like, oh, what's all this? And sure enough, got out. Oh, you Blunty? Yeah, I'll watch your videos. And yeah, 2 days in a row, I've been ambushed by one of you local Ballaratians. Ballaratites? Ballaratians. I did look it up, what the collective noun for people who live here is. I've forgotten what it is. I think it's Ballaratians. Nice bloke. He was with his family. He was getting some lunch for him and the kids and whatnot. Lovely bloke. Fixes electronics for a living. So, thanks for saying good day, mate. And yeah, I got some chicken strips from KFC and some astonishingly salty chips, which was lovely. Sometimes chips that are way too salty are awful. For some reason, KFC chips, when they're extra salty, are just kind of extra good. And I think I needed the dopamine release of horrifically salty food. I'm going to go find somewhere to park in the shade, if I can find some shade. Days like today, it's usually contested, especially the place I like to pick. But yeah, another shitty comment today. I don't know whether I want to talk about it on video or not, but gosh, some people just do not want to listen. You explain as carefully as you can, and they choose not to listen, just so they can feel superior. It's just so obnoxious. Excellent spot. Expert shade finding mission. Got the shade of 2 trees. The direction of the sun should keep me in the shade for, well, at least a couple of hours, I think. Hard to tell. But I've parked so that the front portion of my dash is in the sun for my solar panel, which was completely drained last night. But the rest of the cab and the rear are all sitting in shade, so we should remain relatively cool, especially once I crack these windows and get a bit of cross breeze going. Should be quite comfortable for a bit. Alright, so it's not full sun, but it's some sun. Actually not doing too bad on the charge anyway, already half full. Too much of a pain in the ass to try and hold the camera or mount the camera while I squirted the lithium in there, but ideally I would have given these a proper clean and then squirted the lubricant in, but I'm dealing with limited resources here, but let's see how we did. Haha! Hell of a silent door. Yes, I know, it's only a small problem to solve and a simple problem to solve, but solving something that I can control still feels pretty good. Because there isn't a tremendous amount of control that I have right now over many aspects of how I'm living. And self-agency is kind of an important concept for autistic people. So when you can have a small victory, small success about something you can control, a problem that can be fixed. It's a problem, make a plan, you execute the plan, the solution has been executed, problem has been solved. That is a very satisfying process for everybody. Probably a little extra satisfying for some of us, depending on the way we're wired. So, hooray. No more squeaky door. Want to know what I had for dinner? I'm going to tell you. I had a Big Arch burger. McDonald's. No idea whether it's gone global yet or Australia's some sort of test market for it, but they're doing a thing called the Big Arch burger. It's delicious. Probably the best burger they have, I think. Fried onion on there and everything. But it is also the messiest burger that McDonald's offers. Yes, even messier than a sloppily built Big Mac. It's very saucy. I've never managed to eat one without getting sauce all over at least one set of fingers, if not both. And the reason I'm telling you this banal story is because despite the Big Arch burger being their messiest burger, demonstrably so, I have never, ever once been given napkins with the damn thing. Everything else I order from McDonald's is always, a fistful of napkins in the bag, or there's napkins at the counter. This particular McDonald's only has one napkin dispenser and it's over near the coffee, and it was empty today. I normally grab a couple from there. But today I had to ask specifically for the napkins because yet again they didn't put any in with the Big Arch Burger. Literally every other time I've ordered, literally every single time, and I've eaten there a lot over the last 6 weeks. Napkins in the bag, except when I order the Big Arch Burger. It's some sort of conspiracy, I'm sure. I don't know why, what the goal of the conspiracy is, but it's gone beyond statistical anomaly at this point. Because I've had like 5 or 6 of them, I think, over the last few weeks. Not once have I been given napkins with the damn thing. Momentarily distracted by Doggo. Get your face back in the camera, you little smoosh-faced dork. There you go, buddy. There you go. Bork, bork, bork. Bork, bork. You, legs, out of the way. Not interested in your calves or your cankles. I want to see Doggo. Hello? Show me Doggo. Ah, Doggo, 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 Doggo. Bye, Doggo. Go on, get up there in the little... Oh, yeah, you need a little lift. Anyway, you're probably wondering about one of the first things I mentioned in this video, that $20 donation from a couple of days ago that said, hey, buy something to cheer yourself up. We're going to hold that off because someone else did exactly the same thing today, and I combined the two things to buy a thing. And the thing has kind of an interesting story attached to it, and some stuff and things we can talk about that I can probably pull apart into most of tomorrow's video, possibly. Seeing as I'm going to, tomorrow's the caravan park day, so I'm not going to be moving around much. I'm just going to have my morning and then go to the caravan park as soon as I can check in. But now we have something to talk about. And it's a very, very cool thing, and also a very, very disappointing thing. Is that enough of a tease? Are you thrilled and eager to click on the next video? You should be. In any case, it's that time of day where I start hunting for a spot to pull up for the evening. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to sign off here. And I'm going to thank you for all the support. PayPal, Super Chats, and the Patreon. And a separate but also earnest thank you to everyone who's bothered to hit the single button down at the bottom of that video there where it's just got a thumb on it. And also, even more so, left a comment. Doesn't really matter what the comment is about. Just acknowledge that you were here and active. Engage. But yeah, funny old day today. Hopefully tomorrow is restful. I won't get the full day of rest like I was hoping for, but it'll be something. It will be something. And something's better than nothing. At the very least, I can have a nice hot shower. And frankly, I'm feeling like I need it. Today's been hot, so I've been sweaty. And I can tell this t-shirt is stinky. And if I can tell this t-shirt is stinky, other people around me could, which is why I've been staying away from other people. Except for half an hour ago when I went and got the thing that we talked about. Unnecessarily long outro.